to get the right mindset. And I will go through some stuff here today that I think is really interesting. So if we look at this word, first of all, you know, it's a two word in one word. It's mind and it's set. And if you break it up, it's mind set. So what is your mind set up on? Every day when you wake up in the morning, your mind wakes up. Actually, it's not, your subconscious mind never sleeps, but your conscious mind wakes up. So when you wake up, you have the 24-hour block where you're going to accomplish things. And my mentor always said, you know, what you train on, you will be good at, you know. So if you train to get up late in the morning, you will be pretty good at that, and you will lose a lot of hours. And so everything we train on, we will be good at. So we can train some bad habits, some bad thinking, and we will be really good at that, which will show itself on the outside. So it starts with your mind. Never forget it. It's your mind, what it's set up. That's why we are talking so much. Not only we, but that's why everyone who's successful, if you ask them how they become successful, they said, well, I wrote some goals down and I had some pictures that I, you know, looked at every day because those are the goals that I want to reach. And before the goals, they have the burning desire. They have the why, the driving force, why they're doing this. So when you wake up in the morning, you got to know why you're doing this business. And that's probably something stronger. Your kids, your family, your parents, your community, whatever it is. You wake up in the morning and you have your why, which will drive your business that day. And what you put in your mind is your task. So we can let other people put stuff in our mind like you're doing now, but this is good stuff, so you don't have to worry. But there are so much information out there that hardly will help anyone. And people spend hours watching news or reading papers, newspaper especially though, who are all, you don't have to do that. It would just you know, screw up everything you're doing by putting all that information inside your head. So, and how does this work? That's what I'm going to go through today. So this was just an introduction. Mindset. Your mind is set up on something. When you wake up in the morning, you have 24 hours. And you know, the funny thing with this, or funny, it's actually super genius. The one who made this all up, you know, the inventor, he gave us 24-hour blocks. You can't go back to the 24 hours yesterday and change stuff. I wish, you know, because we screw up, we do bad things, we forget, we are lazy, or we don't have a program, whatever. But we can't go back. You know, time is valuable. You when you lose time, you will never get it back. Write that down. And if you are on these webinars, you don't have pen and paper, wrong. You got to have a pen and paper, and so you can write. And don't try to write it on your phone or, you know, notes. That will not work because your brain will not pick it up. Anyway, so we have these 24-hour blocks where, you know, we can accomplish stuff. And we can't go back yesterday, like I said. We can't go in tomorrow. So we'll have today. That's why you need to have, my mentor always said, if you have a program, when you wake up in the morning, you have one. If you don't, you don't. Easy as that. So you got to have, and I usually do like a list before I go to bed every night, what I'm going to do next day. So I know what my mind is programmed on. Anyway, let's go into the real stuff here. So there's a guy, and we don't have to put any weight on who said what, but I found this many years ago. A guy named Maslow, and he did the actually it's called the pyramid of freedom, or it's called self actualization pyramid, or whatever. And why it's a pyramid? It's because, like in any place, there's a lot of people in the bottom. Like in our business, there's a lot of people in the bottom who just started, and there's very few in the top. Why is that? Well, you will find out after this webinar. But Maslow, he found out the meaning of life. That's what he called his pyramid himself. So he said, okay, I want to explain. And he was a philosopher, and he wrote several books, and he was a mathematics, and he was, one of those thinkers. Anyway, I don't, get stuck in everything he did or everything he said. But when I saw this, my mentor gave me this, it totally opened up my mind to, wow, now I understand stuff, why I need to do things. So I will go through this with you guys. And it starts in the bottom. Everyone starts at the bottom. There's nothing to it. You don't have to be embarrassed or think you're strange or you're bad or whatever. Everyone starts at the bottom, because if you don't, it doesn't work. This is how it works. This is the meaning of life. So if you look at the physiological needs. So everyone, all of us, we're humans. We need sleep, we need to eat, and we need to reproduce. Because if we don't reproduce, the earth would be empty soon. Anyway, and some people do, one of these things, the main basic things, too much, and that's what we need to find out about ourselves. If you eat too much, it's not really good. If you sleep too much, that's not really good too. And if you reproduce too much, well, I don't know if it's bad, but you have a lot of people to take care of. Anyway, we all need the basic needs. Everyone starts there. And the thing is, with the self-realization and the meaning of life, according to Maslow, is that we got to move up. We got to move up. So, but some people, they stay in the first block. They never, I don't know why, maybe they neglect or they don't find out the information or whatever. So they stay in this, physiological needs. They stay with food, they stay with sleep, they stay with reproduction, the basic needs. They never move on, because the purpose of this is to move on. The purpose of this is to move up in the ladder. So what's next after the basic needs? Well, everyone wants the personal, security. We want to live somewhere. We want to have roof over our heads, and we want to maybe go to a job to earn some money so we can feed, the basic needs. And we want to, be healthy and whatever. So that's the next step, and that is what we call in Sweden, we call it, you have a house, you have a dog, and you have a car, and everyone want to have it. And some people get stuck there. They get stuck at the second position. They are, oh, I'm comfortable now. I like it here. But that's not the meaning of life. Meaning of life is to explore, to do new stuff, to go against fear, to set goals. And I know it's hard, but that's also the purpose. So anyway, I go on. So the safety needs, some people, they get stuck in the safety needs. So that's all they have. And you know why they don't move forward? Fear of the unknown. Oh, what shall my neighbor say if I move on here? Because I don't know how it is where you live, but when I grew up, you could see, people had, if the neighbor bought a new barbecue, grill, the other neighbor had to buy one because he didn't want to be, less, whatever. And, so people try to copy each other. They copy each other in safety, but they don't move on. The purpose is, according to Maslow, meaning of life, you got to move on. Anyway, so we move up, we start to build our relationships, friendship and family, connecting with people. And if we go just past the blue one, because it's a middle one, we come up to the red. There's where things start to happen. You start to realize that it's possible. For you guys who've been here in this business, you have actually started moving. You're moving, and you are looking into the red zone. Some of you guys are in the red zone already, and some of you guys maybe are on the top of the self-actualization. But the purpose and the principle behind this is that this is how it works. This is the meaning of life. And doesn't matter how far we go as long as we do it. There's not a race. You lose, you lost. No. Well, if you stay in safety, not really good, because that's not the purpose of life. That's not the purpose-driven life that you're supposed to live. Because that's why I love the Maslow thing, because when you're finally awake and you realize, wow, everything is possible if I put my mind to it. If I just go to the Sunday school and listen and take notes, I can do stuff I never done before. I'm telling you, that's what you can. Anyway, so in the red zone, esteem, we call it, there's where people start realizing that it is possible. They realize that, wow, it's nice to have recognition. It's nice to be recognized for work you've done, and you feel power. You feel empowered because you start to reading books and tapes and CDs and listening to webinars. And like I heard you had a great webinar with Johan today, and that's also part of this, to gather some information. But listen, whatever business you're in, whoever is the CEO, whatever product you have, it's up to you. No one else can change anything but you. So don't start blaming stuff because there's no use, But if you build yourself, you can take that information when you acquire it. Because the thing with Maslow is, when you start moving up and you start building yourself, you get stronger, you get more information, you get more empowered, and you do stuff and you reach ranks, and you develop, and you start changing as a person towards the better. No one can take that away from you. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful how it works? How we got this freedom that we can actually do anything we put our mind to. And there's so much good stuff. Like Henry Ford, he said, I keep my mind so busy about what I want, there's no room for thinking about what I don't want. So fundamental. I keep my mind busy. So you see, the big achievers, they do this. He keeps his mind so busy, so there's no room for what he don't want. Remember, we'd start with the first slide, mindset, when you wake up in the morning. And if we look like this, because every person, I'm just going to this first so you can see, every person has a choice. You give this business introduction to someone, you do a presentation, they have a choice. They can go into fear, or they can go into love or fight. They can sign on, which is fight, or they can go into fear and say, no, mommy told me not to talk to strangers, or whatever. And you see how that works so good with the principle. So every day we have 24 hours. Maslow tells us this is the purpose, this is the meaning of life. That's to move up the ladder, because when we move up, we learn things. We learn and we grow. We grow as persons. That's the purpose, guys. That's why it's so important to, I keep telling you, a leader is not a person with a lot of followers. A leader is a person who produces new leaders, because that's part of this part of life, to help other people to grow, to help other people to achieve something, to recognize them, to support them. When they need to cry out on your shoulder, you're there for them. And you say, it's okay. It will be okay. Because, why, they ask? Because Peter says so. Yeah, that's you can tell them that. So the purpose is to move up in the ladder. And like I said, if we look here, every day we have a choice. You have a choice if you're going to be on this webinar. You have a choice if you're going to read a book. You have a choice if you're going to do massive action. You have a choice if you're going to do presentations, set up webinars. You have a choice if you're going to write down your goals. You have a choice if you're going to cut out pictures for your goals, because people are lazy. That's why it looks like this. On top, on the self-actualization, there's so few because it's hard. It takes action. It takes discipline. It takes discipline to build your character, so you will be the same person always. And when you're finally there, it's so good. The victory. You know what kind of victory? Over yourself. The victory over yourself. Because inside of us, there's dreams when we are born, when we're kids. But there's also a society that tells us, that's not possible. You can't do that. You're too small. You're too big. You have too big ears. You are too loud. They tell us all this. And that gets in our mind. That gets in our mindset. That gets in our subconscious mind, which then we walk on in life and we don't succeed because we have the wrong information. That's why you need to be on these webinars, to get the right information so you can grow as persons, so you can self-actualization yourself. You see, the desire to become the most that one can be. What is that? Is that a bunch of money? Of course not. I take it. Money is good, but it's not the money. It's what money can do for you. It's what money can buy you. But money is freedom. Money is many things. But it's not to hoard up and cluster and bunch. This is what the purpose we're working on. But listen, the beauty, like Maslow said, when we do this, money comes to us. Wow! Success comes to us. When we move up, when we go against our fears, when we do stuff, we move up, it comes to us. This system, it's got to be a genius who made it. It's got to be a genius to not these slides. I mean, the whole system. I mean, universe. I mean, everything. It's so beautiful, I almost start to cry, that every person can be free. Every person can do exactly what he or she wants to do if he just listen. If he just open his mind and said, okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready to change. I'm here. Tell me what to do. And sometimes they do what you tell them. Sometimes they don't. Because most people, they don't want to change when in good times. Most people change in bad times. That's where people change. So this is how it looks, guys. When you wake up in the morning, you have a thought, bam, And my mentor, he always said, and write this down. If you haven't write anything down today, write this down. Thoughts always come before feelings. So if you have a feeling, you have been thinking something. Either you're consciously thinking something, or your subconscious is thinking for you. Because 95% of the decisions you makes in the subconscious mind. That's why we need to do this. We need to repeat. We need to be here. We need to change. We need to be willing. So thought always come before a feeling. How can I explain that? Well, like this. Sometimes I meet people and I ask them something, do you want to do this? You want to go there? Or do you want to hang out? Or do you want to do a business? Or, and they go, oh, no, I don't know. They go into fear. Look, they go into fear. And they go like, I'm not sure, because maybe they don't dare because someone else is home and going to tell them, what did you do? Or, they're afraid of just doing it, or they're just afraid of what's going to happen when they do it. Anyway, so I asked them, do you want to do this business with me? And I explain. And they go, no, I don't feel, it doesn't feel right. I don't feel like it. And I tell them, well, then you must be thinking wrong. Because you can't have a feeling without a thought. That's impossible. Well, you can have a subconscious feeling. So you have a thought, you have a feeling. So feelings come from thoughts. That means that you can change the way you feel. If you feel miserable, stop thinking miserable thoughts. If you feel scared, stop thinking scared thoughts. It's easy as that. There's nothing wrong with being pro-productive, to have a plan. But I will read something for you here. You must realize that fear is not real. It's a product of your thoughts that you create. But listen, don't misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. I say it again. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. There you have it. So we have a thought, we have a feeling, and then after the feeling, so you see how everything sticks together. So if you have a bad thought, bad feeling, probably no action. Good thought, good feeling, action. So you see in the third block here, it's action or no action. So why do people don't take action? Well, because they fear the unknown. And after every action, there's a result. You can't cheat life. You can't fool the universe. There's no way. Because there are rules. There are rules that came here before us. There's principles. And the principle is that we first sow and then we reap. And most of the people don't get it. They want to have it for free. Oh, you know that expression that, free is good? No, it's not. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a free lunch. You got to bury that stuff, because there's no such thing. That's favor. That's another thing. That's another thing. That's a whole other thing. But go back to this. Look here. You make a choice. You wake up in the day. Where are you? Are you in the lowest zone where you just eat, sleep, and reproduce, or have you moved up? So you want to have a house, and want to have some friends, and you want to have some connection. You want to be loved and family. Some people fear so much. I'm not putting any judgment here, but some people fear so much, so they don't have a family. They're afraid of the responsibility or whatever. I don't know. So I'm not putting in a judgment, because it's up to everyone. There's no rules. There's no rule book like that you have to do stuff. It's always up to every person. But do you get it? Some people have so much fear that they don't get a family, which is part of the Maslow finding yourself. Anyway, you move up. You make choices every day. And it's fear or love, or fear or fight. Fight is always on the right side. And when you do that, it's you that got to make the decision. You make the decision over here when you start thinking stuff. And how can you start thinking better stuff than you've done before? I will tell you, there's only two ways. Listen and read. You're doing one now. So now you're getting some new information. If you have new information, your results will be new. If you just stay with what you know already, well, fine. You will have what you have. You will be what you be. You will live where you live. If you want to live somewhere else, if you want to have a bigger house, if you want to drive a nicer car, you got to change the way you think. That's how it works. So back to this. When we have the choice to choose a thought, listen to this. This is fundamental. You cannot always control circumstances, but you can always control the way you think. You cannot always control what happens. That's why I say it doesn't matter. It doesn't, these things matter, because these things are the fundamental of life. Every day on Sunday school, we don't talk facts, we talk principles. Facts change, principles never change. If you're with me, we're gonna go all the way, And now we have this beautiful business with all these great people like Johan and Jonas and all those guys. So we should be lucky. We should think, wow, I was so lucky I was here. But anyway, so guys, these are the keys to life, to success. I hope you got something out of this, because I did. It's so nice to sit here and talk to you guys, because I learn myself, and that's the purpose. You can't keep what you don't give away. If you want to keep it, give it away. That's the principle. But you know what? Most people are scared. They go into fear. They go into fear when they're going to give it away. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean give away? Well, everything. Everything. Money, love, consideration, caring, time. Listen, if you have a lot of time, which is the purpose of residual income, can you focus on something else than just a job? If you have a job, you got to be there for 8 to 10 hours, whatever. You don't have any time. You're so exhausted when you get back home. But if you work up, you have residual income, you have more time. What can you do with more time? Give it away so you can spend some time with people like we do now. If I didn't have free time, I couldn't be sitting here. If I had to go to some job or some whatever, took my time. So guys, this is amazing. You're an amazing ride together. We are an amazing ride together. I'm just doing the educational side of it. I let others handle the professional technical stuff, whatever. I don't, go into that. But this I know. This I know. That's why I'm here. And we meet every Sunday on these Sunday school webinars. And I hope you got something out of this. I did. And, guys, if you do this, what I told you today, the best of your life will be the rest of your life. Because you're not who you think you are who you think you are. Thank you, guys.